Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. You guys already know what this is, especially if you are a honeybee rider. This is Power, Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 1, Episode 8, The Cost of Business. Okay? And I've got a little sticky note in front of me that says no rabbit trails, right? So we are going to just jump right into this, right? Not going to go hopping down the bunny trails. I'm going to try to get this done because I got 4 pages of notes and I don't want this to be an hour and a half video. I really, really don't want that for you guys. So let's hop right into this, right? First of all, I'm giving you Tuck Realness, which Rock was giving this whole episode. I wanted to do the swoop over, but your girl's hair is curly naturally. It is not straight, okay? She doesn't conk anymore, so y'all are getting Tuck Realness. And those of you who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, you already know what the tuck gives. Okay, it gives you Naughty Librarian depending on how you work the lip and the earrings and the jewelry. I almost pulled my first stole out, and I was like, I'm not letting all the air out and pumping out. Letting the air in and pumping all the air out to get that first. She not doing that. Y'all get it. Y'all get the overall. Okay. All right. So this episode was the best episode out of in the whole season. This episode was the best episode. Hands down, you guys. Let's jump right into this. Okay. The episode opens with Juke, and she is in mourning. She and Kanan are standing outside of Nicole's funeral, and as they file in, they make the decision to go in. Now, she at this point isn't crying. She's just got this really numb, like dead behind the eyes type look to her face. She walks in just to the vestibule area there where they've got the picture book, the picture of the person who has passed away, and the sign-in book, right? And then she walks up and she looks at this picture, really, really beautiful picture of Nicole. Kanan is just a few steps behind her. He's kind of letting her walk off and have her moment there. Well, Nicole's father sees her. And he walks up to her and he says, Laverne, you can't be here. Really, he is kind of talking to her but looking over his shoulder because he knows the wife's going to lose it if she sees Laverne. What she does, she looks over and she sees Laverne and she goes off. And she's already called security and these people need to get out. But Juke realizes she's not welcome. It's same old, same old. She just turns just really slowly and walks out. And Kanan lingers behind and says, you know what? Juke really, really loved Nicole. And you can see that Dad's eyes fall a little bit. Like, he gets it. I personally think he's secretly gay. But, that's just me. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Anyway, he gets it. The mom isn't having. She is like venom, venom, vicious, vicious, venom, venom, vicious, vicious, venom. Right? Juke goes outside and they're just walking up the sidewalk. And Kanan is like, Juke, don't worry about them, screw those people, and yada yada yada, just trying to rally her, right? And she was like, look, Kanan, I gotta go do something. He was like, well, I'm rolling with you, right? He know he need to kind of stick by her because he don't like what he's seeing with this dead behind the eyes business. Well, Juke said, I need to be dolo. I need to be solo dolo on this. And what can he say to that, right? It's sad. It is so sad. I don't know, man. Jukebox is in a real, real bad place. She really is. And so Kanan is worried about her. Well, we see next that the bodega wife is moving with purpose. Okay, her and Rock have devised a plan. Now we don't know it until we get to the end of the plan, but till we get into the plan, because it ain't the end of the plan, till we get into the plan that she and Rock have worked together on this situation. So she goes up to her husband who's sitting at the breakfast table, and she's got the coffee pot, and she accidentally on purpose wastes his coffee on him. This sets him off. He goes to knock her to the floor. She's falling to the floor before he even hits her good. Then he takes off his belt and he's gonna whip her like a child. And she on the floor and she's groveling, but she's sticking to the plan, right? And she crawls into the kitchen and he's right there after her. Just a little bit more leading, and she runs outside. He runs outside behind her. Now he's got the belt. He done put the belt down, and now he got a knife. He done picked up a knife off the counter. Now I don't know what he was finna do with that knife, right? Because if you gonna kill her with the knife, it's scary. Anyway, so he runs out, and they've got like one of those garages that are separate from the house, right? So he runs out of the house, and she runs out of the house and runs into the separate garage, and he walks in the door and he was like, say hello to my little friend. I'm gonna teach you what respect is. He walks into the garage, and Rock is standing in there, baby, with some shades on and a mean tuck with the swoop over. Okay, baby. And she got on a leather jacket with the black fur all up and through her neck area up in here. Just looking, you know what I'm saying? Like, she could have been a lawyer. She could have been a celebrity. I mean, Rock got a lot of style, right? So, she shoots him. Susu in the shoulder. Susu in the chest. He falls. She walks up on him and she say, this for you and all the ninjas like you. Susu right in the head. Okay, and the wife is like, she doesn't spit on him, but that's how she looks. She looked like she just got her freedom papers. She looked like she just won the lottery. Like, this the day she been waiting on. She been waiting on somebody to take him down a peg or two and send him on home to glory, and then straight to hell. Okay, it's a really, really good moment. Rock gives her the plan. Rock tells her, listen, when call the police and tell them it was a break-in, and you tell them it was some power tools and stuff stole from the out of the garage. And she was like, yeah, stick to the plan, right? It's a good moment. Then we see where Howard and Burke are discovering the Kanan bodies, aka the blue tops. And she wants to do her job. She wants to do a full investigation. She wants to track it down. She wants to ask questions. She wants to pull some people over. And Howard don't want to do that. He do not want to do that. Even if he do it, he want to do it alone. He don't want to get her involved. Because one, she white, and two, because he doing something here and he don't need her goody two shoe by the book, strictly rules by the rules, ours in the way. And he protests enough, and she was like, what's going on with you? What's happening with you? I mean, why don't you want to do any real police work? We got bodies everywhere, but we not investigating any of them. So he kind of looks at her and smirks and realized, no. When she brings the captain's name up, she was like, I'm not going to be held accountable for the mistakes you make. She brings the captain's name up. He go ahead and concedes and says, okay, let's do a little investigation. All right. Then we see where Rock, Marvin, and Lou are going over the numbers, and no matter how they slice it, the money in the product is running super low. Like that they not gonna be able to make $1 out of the 15 cents that they got left, right? And we see where Lou is kind of distracted. She kind of has to get him to focus a bit on what she's talking about, get his head into the game. We know where his head is. Lou head is over there at the studio. Lou head is over there with Crown's business, okay? But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So Marvin's got tons of opinions, but he don't have no loyalty, aka transparency, right? He still don't come forth with this information that could have helped them throughout this episode move differently. But because he's just trying to look like he busy and not really busy working on the family business, When she looks at him, that when Lou brings up the blue caps, he is like, "Mom's the word," and she was like, "What are you talking about, blue caps? Ooh, people dying?" It's like, "Yeah." She was like, "We need to get to the bottom of that. We can't have that." And Lou was like, "You think it's unique?" Or him or Marvin was like, "You think it's unique?" And Rock was like, "Nah, nah, it ain't unique. He knows that bodies are bad for business, and they bring the cops, right?" And so she looked over at Marvin. She said, "Marvin, do you know anything about this?" I can't. I'm trying to get her voice down. "You know anything about this?" It's like I can't do it. Too country. Do you know anything about this? And so Marvin is like, "Oh yeah. I mean, I may have heard something about some dude somewhere in some place in far off land." And Lou was like, "Ninja, what is you talking about? How you know?" And then he goes into distract mode, right? Deflect mode. He says, I know a lot of stuff. Well, if you get your head out of the music game and get your head into this getting drug game and be about your business around here, you would know some things too." And then they got into it about deodorant and smelling good and all this old bull crap. And Rob was like, "Can we get back to business, please?" And so she tells Marvin to check into this. Find out who is giving out these blue caps, and when you find them, tell them to move on with that joint. If they don't want to move on with that joint, you make them move on, dead or alive, basically. And so it's this whole moment. Marvin gets up and exits stage left immediately, like he feels like, "Whew, I just barely made it out of that," right? So he gets up and walks off, and then Rock um, questions Lou about Unique pulling up on him and making a proposition. And Lou is like, "I already told you." She was like, "Tell me again, start from the beginning." I mean, why would he even think that he could make a move on you and turn you towards his side? Why would he even think that? And I mean, Lou makes it unequivocally clear he doesn't know why, but he is a loyal dude, and he don't roll point blank. Period. I mean, it's enough, and it convinces Rock, right? Like we know how it all went down, but it convinced Rock, and so that's a good thing. We see where Unique is pissed off about the Kanan bodies, aka blue caps. I mean, he is livid. So he knocking stuff over. He is fussing. He is fighting. He's like, "This got rocks stink all over it." And his boy was like, "Well, actually, what I heard was, I don't want to hear about what you heard." Okay. One, he is feeling the pressure to move in on Rock. I'm saying to handle Rock. And two, because Lulu made him look bad in front of his dude, he's feeling that much more anxious to prove that he the man, right? He got to kick this war off with Rock ASAP, and that's his intention. He tell the dude he don't give a good god darn, and call them boys from up there to come down here, and we finna do this thing. I mean, he is livid, right? So then we see where Detectives Howard and Burke and go and do what anybody in Rock's crew could have done, especially Lou, since Lou is the first one to bring up the blue caps. First one to mention the blue caps, right? Lou's the first one to bring up the blue caps at the business meeting. He could have just as easily talked with a couple of crackheads like Howard and Burke did, and then come to the table with some definitive answers for Rock. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't care because his mind is in the music business, right? It's fine. So they run up on this crackhead who swears he's clean, but he's clearly on dope. And Howard gives him a couple of bucks, and he tells him about it was these young cats from Queensbridge, and they're headed up by this guy named Little Rob. He hangs out over at this titty bar off of Mad Ave. And the young lady Burke goes to ask him a question, and the guy calls her Hojack. She asked him how he knew something. He was like, elementary Hojack. In which Howard's reply was to laugh hysterically, right? So they give him a little bit more money, and he walks off. I mean, the crackheads in the Power series, the whole Power series, the ones that they give dialogue to, are hilarious. Okay, so we see where Marvin, who's been sent to look into the situation, instead of him formulating a plan, like you need to get rid of Lil Rob and the crew or something, like you need to figure this out, right? But what does he do? He calls Kanan. And he wants to go over it again. Are you sure that the blue caps can't be traced back to us? You the boss. You might not be the boss over the whole thing, but you the boss over your little area, dude. Like, why is you asking a 15-year-old? It's ridiculous. And he was like, we only did 20 vials. And he was like, I think your mom knows. And Kanan is upset because he was like, how does she find out everything? Your whole business depends on junkies, dope heads. Anything depends on dope heads is not a secret. Ever. Right? Dope heads are some of the biggest snitches out there. But rabbit trails, not gonna do it. So Kanan is like, yeah, we gave these Queenbridge ninjas, these testers, we got it out of our ballpark. It's not gonna come back on us. And Marvin is worried about dying. That's what he worried about. And he feels like, Kanan, your mama not gonna kill you, but she would definitely put a bullet in me, and Lou will be more than happy to do it. It's not true, but that's what he thinks. So we see where Juliana, the bodega wife, executes the plan perfectly. Now she just needs to call the cousin and set it up, right? Like, this is what she did for me, right? And really get this plan in motion. So basically, the bodega wife and Rock are using the killing of her husband to facilitate or accelerate the deal between Jacqueline, the bodega wife cousin, and Rock. We see where Nicole Jukebox is stalking Nicole's repast. We also see down to the titty bar, little Rob is in there, and I still love that haircut, that little with the little piece eaten out of it. I still think it could be pulled off today. I mean, I just like it. I think I may have liked the guy. Anyway, I digress. Focus. So Howard and Burke play this, I would say this trick, but it is basically entrapment, where they throw a piece of paper down and say that it's a warrant for his arrest for murder, and they lock him up. They go and, bind his hands up in the handcuffs before he even has a chance to read the warrant. And because most black people really just don't want to have anything to do with the police, like, you don't even want to try to sort it out. You don't even want to go down there, right? Most black people are just like, let me tell these people what they want to know, or get them something and get them out of our face, especially when they say things like warrant for murder, right? So he's not able to stay cool, calm, and collected. They take him outside. He's in handcuffs, and they're just like, you got 6 bodies on you, and from this dope that you sold. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, really? Because we got 6 bodies and we got the proof. So we finna put you in this car, and we finna take you down to the jailhouse. So I hope you used to peen. Lots and lots of peens, because you're going to be knee-deep in peen for the rest of your life behind this murder. And the guy was like, all right. This what happened. It was that Kanan dude, the Kanan kid. And then Burke is like, Kanan Stark? And Howard looked at her like, God, dog, I shouldn't have brought you along. And the guy's like, yeah. He was like, what are you talking about? Howard says, it's Kanan Stark is 15 years old. He's a high school kid. He's like, man, ain't no age limit on this game. And then he says, let's see here. It ain't no age limit on this game, right? And then he says, something about the triple B. If you guys know what the triple B is, please let me know. I'm not sure. Is that the game? Is that the, what is that? Booze, booty, and B? I don't know. What's triple B? I don't know. Y'all, those of my New York people, y'all please let me know what a triple B is. I really would like to know. And so, ain't no age limit on this thing. He in this game deep. He the one cooked the stuff up, right? Uh, so Howard, he was like, yeah, let me see that warrant. You're supposed to ask for that before you tell everything snitch, but it's fine, whatever. Don't worry about that. Mind your business. Oh, so you releasing me now? I'm wanted for 6 murders and you releasing me? Go on, sir. So he's like, you punk, pig, arse, nunges, yada, 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 yada. He cussing on his way out. Like, now you got all that bark, but I see you was singing like a canary. Not 15 seconds earlier. Beat it, dude. So, then we see where, back to the blue caps, dope and money shortages. Lou is trying to shore up this music thing. Oh, Buck. That's why I didn't know. Buck the blue cap. In other words, forget them blue caps and everything that's going on with his family, the money shortages and the dope shortages. Reading for my notes. Lou is trying to shore up this music thing. And then he does what I said he should have done a long time ago. Didn't we talk about this, right? He brings an attorney in, Attorney Barnes, and he is down at Crown Spot and they're partying up a blue street. But Lou carries so much weight that even Crown's boys down at the party spot calls Lou the boss. And Crown's like, he's not the boss. And Lou is like, Ninja, I'm the boss of whatever I say I'm the boss. I'm the boss of. And this is my attorney. And he tells him he's got some paperwork. Basically, Lou stops talking and lets the attorney do the talking. And what they're doing is a debt to equity swap. So what basically they're proposing is that converting what Crown currently owes to Lou, which is a lot of money, into stake in the company. Basically 50-50 ownership, a 50-50 split. Loan to investment, my ninja. This is what Lou says. Loan to investment. Immediately, Crown just starts trying to run that game. Next quarter, 2 albums drop. You're going to get paid your money plus interest. It's no need for you to have stake in the company. And blue, yoop, dope head, game running, right? Scheming. And Lou pulls the gun out and makes it perfectly clear. I've got the paperwork here, okay? And I tell you what we can do. You can give me ink on this paper or your DNA on this paper. But you gonna put your Hancock on this paper. One way or another, sir. Okay? And what else he gonna do? Sign them papers. So then we see where Jukebox sees Nicole's parents leave. They catch a cab and she breaks into the downstairs window, goes upstairs to Nicole's room, and immediately she's touching things and just trying to be close to Nicole's essence. Last time she saw her, they were in the park getting a pretzel, and just like that, Nicole is gone. She goes and she finds the tape that they made in the mall and she puts it in. And it's at this moment she's finally able to release and cry. I don't think she looked at it that way. It was more of a breakdown for her. But crying is very cathartic. What I love is how they shot the actress who plays Jukebox. They showed just her eyes filling up a little bit and then more, and then the release of the tears. It was so impactful. It was so dramatic. And I'm sure in this moment, like never before, Jukebox feels alone. She just breaks down. It's super, super emotional, right? And so then we see, meanwhile, Howard has ditched Burke. Now, he told Burke he needed to check out this thing solo. And Burke was like, why you trying to do everything on the solo tip? He was like, you rub people the wrong way, your whiteness. You know what I mean? Good point. Well, he has ditched Burke and he's pulling Rock over. Where's the driver, Rock? But it's fine. He gets out of the car. When she pulls over, she's like, this ninja. He gets out of the car, stands in front of the car, and he in front of her driver's side window, and he says, follow me. And she was like, I got things I got to do. He was like, follow me, or I arrest Kanan for 6 counts of murder. 6? Don't you mean 20 to 21? Basically, she follows. After he brings Kanan in, it's, you know, so they walking and talking in the park. Now, here's what I love about Rock. First of all, Rock is bad as anything. Is she sharp? You know what I'm saying? Scalpel sharp. I love how she always walks upright and straight. And she always walks a little bit ahead of who she's talking to. It's almost like they're following her. I love that. She may not know how to really run or manage a crew per se, but she got a lot of boss energy about her, and it comes across in her demeanor. I love that about Rock. Okay, so they're walking along, and he was like, "Listen, I need you to facilitate this thing between Kanan and I. If I just walk up to him and tell him what's what, he's not gonna go for that. But if you mediate and smooth the way, he might be more amicable to it." She was like, "Oh, so you want to be daddy detective now?" And she was like, he was like, "So you playing daddy detective?" He said, "I'm not playing." She says, this point we get into the meat and potatoes of it. She talks about how, what is he going to think about you screwing his 16-year-old mom? He was like, I thought you was 17. I was like, oh, okay. Don't know how that's better, but that's fine. Whatever. And she was like, yeah, I was carrying calculus books around with me. I was in high school. What did you think was going on? He was like, look, you didn't have all this venom for DEF CON when he was smashing. And she was like, DEF CON and I never slept together. DEF CON was left-handed. Now, I learned a few seconds later that means gay. That's my first time hearing left-handed as a term for gay. I mean, thank goodness it never really caught on because there's so many left-handed people in this world. I mean, anyway, he was left-handed, and he only dealt with dudes, and they never slept together. She was his cover, his beard. And that's why he didn't trip about Kanan, because it was like further proof that he was not, gay. So he never questioned her about Kanan's birth. I mean, and Howard is like, are you kidding? And then he says some, a homophobic slur. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy, right? So, let's see. So, she further insults him when he says that DEF CON was this, slur word, and he was more of a ninja than you ever will be. And when she does that, he just tells her, that he gonna tell the streets. If she don't do what he asked her to do, he gonna tell the streets. And she was like, why would you do that? If you say you want to be in your son's life, why would you do that? That's gonna put a target on his head when people find out that Kanan is a cop's son. That's gonna put a target on his head, right? You might as well go ahead and just put a bullet in his head. He was like, don't worry about Kanan. I'll see about Kanan. I'll take care of Kanan. How you gonna do that, sir? You got like months to live. Like, what is you doing? But he's just trying to move her. You know what I'm saying? He trying to get her to stop blocking him the way she blocking him. trying to get the upper hand, right? Trying to put himself more in a position of power, because up until this point, Rock has had all the power in the situation. And so he was like, period, that's what it is. I'll see about him. She said, and you and your crew better not try to do nothing smart, like snuff me out. Basically, that's what he's saying, like run up on me, he says, because don't try no slick ish, because I'm ready for that too. We see where Rock makes a phone call and she was like, yeah, about that dry cleaning. Wait, I'm trying to get it. Okay. She was like, yeah, about that dry cleaning in Harlem a while back. Basically, it's clearly a hit. She's making the call to do the hit, but we didn't know who she was making the call to, and we still technically don't. We've seen some things that lead us to believe that it's Lou, but technically we still don't know who that call was to. Evidently she set it up, for them to be ready a while back. Okay. So then, of course, she makes a beeline to her house. When she gets to her house, Kanan is in there. And he is doing pull-ups, looking like a 17-year-old jailbait. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like all up in this area was like bulky. I was like, how is this guy in real life, the actor? What is we doing? And he seemed taller. Like maybe all the big bubble clothes and stuff made him look like chubby, but the dude is not chubby. He also looked like Prison Bay doing them pull-ups. I was like, if that ain't a prison move, I don't know what is. You is getting ready for the jailhouse, aren't you, Kanan? So, she calls his whole name, Kanan Elijah Stark, get down here. And when your mama call your whole name, all three names, okay, you already know what it is. It's trouble, flat out. So get your mind right. She begins to lecture him a little bit. And he tells her, well, I was trying to make you believe in me. What we did, and she said, by we, do you mean you and Marvin? And then he was like, listen, I set up that whole Van Wyck situation, and we was making good money, and we was doing this. And by we, do you mean Marvin? Let me tell you about Marvin. So she tells him the story about how Marvin got busted for a bid. Basically, he was a junkie, and he was so high on the stuff when the cops busted in his house, busted to bust him for drugs, he offered to sell him a quarter bag, right? And so Kanan was like kind of stunned a little bit. He was like, yeah, so this the idiot you quit hitching your star to. This the idiot wagon you hitching your star to, right? Like by this time, this energy should get him to shut up. But Kanan is another one. Oh, I got to turn my fan around. Kanan is another one of those individuals who insist upon pushing back, bucking up, like who you talking to. He has long since forgotten about the fact that he's 15-year-old, even though he's still shocked and amazed and befuddled and confounded like a 15-year-old, right? I mean, it's crazy. So the thing about it is that Kanan has made some seriously stupid mistakes that, okay, anyway. So she tells him about Marvin and the whole situation, and he says, you know what I'm saying, don't blame me. You know what I'm saying? Don't blame Marvin. If you're going to blame anybody, blame yourself. I don't have no other choice. This is what I got to do with my life. Right? This is what you set me up for. And he's like, you gotta blame anybody, blame yourself. And he walked up into her face, and baby, when I tell you she came from up here, from up way high up here, up in this area up here, and came down hard on his face. Okay, hard to the ground. I was like, yes. Now get on top of him. Boom, 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 elbow, okay? Boom, boom, light that eye up, boom, boom, light that nose up, right? Where I come from, you had to stop whipping your kids, boys especially early on. You had to just, you know what I'm saying, no belts. My grandmama used to say a belt make them tough, but a switch will break them. It's abuse, but you get what I'm saying. So he is shocked and in dismay, and the Tweety birds are like around his his head. I was like, get him again, Rock. And so in her anger, she just starts to run it like the whole truth, and she just spills it. She tells him he's got body after body after body on his hands, right, including everywhere. Buck 20, D Wiz, and he is like, D Wiz, and you could just see the 15-year-old, the look in his eye. It was like, I mean, the slap was hard, but it wasn't nothing compared to hearing that. It's almost like it took the breath out of him. I mean, his eyes was moving like he was looking for the answer all around the room. Like, you know what I mean? Like like his world was disassociating from reality or something. Like, he was stunned. But remember, Jukebox told him it's a lot of stuff you don't know, dude, right? He bucked up his jukebox. Well, Rock says the same stuff. You don't know. It's a lot of stuff you don't know that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? She said, when you and your boys did that, it put me in a bad spot. You keep messing, put me in a place where I got to clean up after you. And it's create messes for me, right? When you did that, when y'all did that, Unique was coming for you. Buck 20's boys and a whole bunch of other people was gunning for you. They was going to kill you. And I had to kill D-Wiz. She said, that's right, I killed D-Wiz. I had to do it. I had to kill your friend to keep them from killing you. So when you really look at it and think about it, who's really to blame for D-Wiz's death? Kanan get up and run out like a 15-year-old. Okay, you wasn't ready. Yeah, you had it all planned what you was gonna tell your mama. You was gonna school her. You was gonna bring her into full fruition of your manhood and your smartness and your intelligence. Yeah. You ran out. And I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't pee a little bit in your pants. But I digress. So we see where Unique heads into his building and he checks his keys with the doorman, hops on the elevator. Lou, who has been watching him, walks right in behind him. And then he rolls up on the doorman, tells the doorman, his boy, I left something in the car. And the doorman was like, who are you? He pulls out some money at the same time. He's showing his gun when he pulls out his wallet. And the doorman is like, he don't want no trouble. So he gives him the keys. Takes the keys, looks in the back seat, and pulls out a jacket. I don't know if it was Unique's jacket. I don't know if it was his boy's jacket. But it was a fancy jacket, right? Like gold and red lettering on the back, like. And at this point, I'm like, what is he gonna do with that? Is he gonna do something to Detective Howard and plant this jacket at the scene, or like what's happening here? We still don't know. So we see where Rock rolls up on Marvin after she has basically cut Kanan low, and she proceeds to cut Marvin low as well. She rolls up on him at the new spot, the upstairs downstairs apartment spot. There's some dudes in there working. She sends them out. She asks him how long y'all been working today, and he was like, oh yeah, a couple of hours, you know what I'm saying, just some old bullshit answer. He turns his back and she takes a 2x4 out of the trash can and whacks him across the back. It wasn't hard, but he does go down. And he was like, he knows what it's about. He don't even have to play. Like, he know what this is, like what's going on here. And he starts to try to explain himself a little bit about what's going on. And she was like, dude, you keep mucking up. Like, you're so stupid and you're so untrustworthy. You look me in my face and lie. You put my son in danger. Kanan got bodies on him behind what y'all was doing. And he was like, I was trying to, y'all was shutting me out, Rock. Meaning her and Lou. Y'all was shutting me out. I was trying to make a go. And Kanan was hell. Kanan is smart. He's really, really smart. He is a child, she tells Marvin. He says, listen, I was funneling the money, sliding it back to y'all. So I wasn't keeping it for myself. We have no proof of that. We have no proof of that. She has no idea like how she up or down, like the way they doing things. It's not scientific. You know what I'm saying? If y'all watch Godfather Harlem, there's no Whoopi Goldberg character that's counting the doogie and counting the money and, you know what I'm saying, how much per ounce. Like, ain't nobody doing that in this situation. And that was the 1964-65. They had somebody running it. Move it up to the 90s, and these ninjas ain't keeping up with their money and they doogie no better. She don't know. She would never know if he slid that money. All she knows is what he said. Anyway, so and he tells her that he was trying to slide it. He was sliding her money, and just trying to she doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear it. You stay mucking up, Marvin. Okay? And I'm done with you. You dead to me. He was like, Rock, please, give me another chance. It was in this moment, man, I felt for Marvin. I felt like one way or another, he has probably always felt like the black sheep. Like, it was at this moment that I realized that he just wants to prove that he's not that constant muck up, even though doing that proves that he's that constant muck up. But Marvin's going to redeem himself just a little bit later on in the episode. So I don't ever want to see you again. I don't ever want to lay eyes on you again. My relationship with you is done. Man, when I tell you she cut him low, she cut him low. Just like Kanan, he grabbed his tail, tucked it hard, and ran. Okay? We see what Jukebox is in this haze, basically. She is still in Nicole's room, just being with her stuff and her scent. She goes to put the movie video VHS tape in her book bag. And at the same time, she sees this basically love note that Nicole left for her. She saves the counter for later and is just sitting there looking when Nicole's dad walks into the doorway. And basically he's checking the house out. They've seen the window is broken. They call the police immediately. At this moment he realized it's Laverne, aka Jukebox, that's in here. And he tries to warn her, Jukebox, you have to leave. We had no idea it was you here and we've called the police, basically. Jukebox is in this shocked, stunned, like zombie-like state. Like, she is just numb. She doesn't say a word. Well, the mom is right up on his heels, and she sees it as Jukebox, and she was like, you are a murderer. You killed Nicole. And Jukebox is crying. Now, when she did turn to look at the father and he saw the tears in her eyes, again, it was this moment where he seemed like he understood. He understood what was going on between his daughter and Jukebox. And he empathized. Well, the mom's got the blue cap locked and loaded, and she throws it down. These are your drugs. Take your drugs back. This is what killed her. We had to tell all of her friends and family that she died of a heart attack. We didn't want to tell her she was murdered by your crack rock, your drugs. And Jukebox takes the vial and she puts it in her pocket. I mean, she still is dead silent, but tears. At the same time, he is gathering the mother up, trying to keep the mother from getting all in Jukebox's face. Jukebox would have totally let it all happen. She was never going to fight the mother back. She was like a wet rag. It's this like sense of hopelessness she had on her. Police were right behind them. Of course, white people call the police, they're there like that. It's like the police live in their basement or something. Black people call the police, and 2 days later, you still waiting on them. Anyway, in some places, right? So they arrest her, and she still got tears streaming, and she is just, like I said, numb. It was just so sad. It was so sad. And so then we see where Kanan arrives at Davina's house after he done ran off from his mama's house, and just in time to see Defax packing up garbage bags full of Davina and Tanisha, her little sister's stuff. And he wants to know where is she? What are you doing? Why are you here? And the neighbor tells him that DFAX has come. That's what we call it here in Georgia, DFAX, Department of Family and Children Services. DFAX has come and they've taken her and they've taken Tanisha and put them in foster care. And really it's the best thing for them. But why? Why? Because their mom is dead. Now, if you like me, you thought, oh no, your blue cap got Davina's mom. Like, you killing everybody around Davina. But no, her mom died like a month earlier. But the police were only just now able to identify the body. And so when they realized who it was, tracked back her address, they came and took the kids, right? And so Davina is gone. I don't know if we'll ever see Davina again, but Davina is gone and Kanan is devastated. And we see where Lou and Jessica are post-coitus. He wants to bask in the afterglow and smoke a fatty. She wants to talk about how his contract negotiation with Crown, he got the papers there. With Crown is going to benefit her and Famous, her brother, and her family. Because these are the type of people that you help. One, you're going to help everybody in their family, right? So she's going to basically go dig her way into success by using Lou and what he's accomplished with this money. And so he was like, I just want to relax. And this is what you want to talk about. Can we just chill instead of just always talking about your brother and your brother's, fame or whatever? He doesn't really think that Famous is all that great. And, it was just this moment where I was like, oh, he's going to end up killing her. So he says, you're just never satisfied. I was like, ooh, them ain't final last words. She says, see, that's the difference between me and you. She says, in your lazy arse, I'm never satisfied. I was like, ma'am, get your things and go. Like, you ain't got to never come back here, boo. Marvin is breaking. Oh, then we see Juke, and she's catching a break. So basically, Detective Howard has flagged her in the system, and so anytime they were going to pick her up, or probably Kanan up, he was to be notified, and also he put a flag in her record, in her jacket, that says cut her loose, right? Give her a break, And they do it for a lot of reasons. People are their informants, or family members, whatever. It's a a perk. Jukebox don't care. She still don't say a word. She still got tears streaming down her face. The guy's like, you're lucky. You must know people in high places. He cut her loose, and she strolls off. She's, like I said, a wet rag at this point. We see where Marvin is breaking Tony off in the club. Tony's the white girl. And unbeknownst to him, she's got the office bugged. And when he asks for the money she owes him after he, unloads. Ugh, it's gross. He asks for the money. She tries to get him to say out loud why she owes him the money. But Marvin doesn't bite. He was like, you know what? Screw this. I don't have time for your mess. And he walks out. Boy goes out into the club. She's running behind him. I don't have a problem giving you the money I owe you. You just have to tell me why I owe it to you. I was like, nothing says I'm a narc, a snitch. So go into detail as to how you robbed the bank. Right? It's so obvious. Well, Symphony is watching the whole thing. And there's 2 police officers in the club. And so when Marvin is like, girl, if you don't get off my back, forget you. And forget these antics, okay? And he walks on out. She walks over to the two police officers that are sitting there like they're enjoying the club. They look like a couple of police officers, you know what I'm saying? 5-0. And she was like, I tried. He was like, all you got was laid. you know what I'm saying, buckets. If you got 2 felony charges of drug possession on you, unless you can get us a bigger fish, you going to jail. Well, Symphony sees it all. Okay, he gathers all of the information. We don't see in this episode what he's gonna do with it, but I'm rooting for you, Symphony. I'm rooting for you, Symphony. Then we see where Rock is meeting with Jacqueline, who is the bodega wife's cousin, and she's trying to kind of fast track the deal. He wants to know if she heard about what happened to Gabriel, and she was like, "Buck Gabriel," and he was like, "Okay. Well, what about Detective Howard?" And it's in this moment Rock realizes she's been followed this whole time, and so more than likely he's aware of the fact that she had bumped off Gabriel, but kind of appreciated the fact that she didn't want to get into it. You know what I mean? Like, people in this line of business like discretion. So he wants to know about Detective Howard. She finds out he's following her, and they pull out guns. And Rock and her driver slash one crew member are just, Rock don't blink though. Rock don't blink. She don't drop her wine glass, and she don't flinch, boo. We see where Unique and the boys are suiting up for war. They got guns, and more guns, and Molotov cocktails. Like, what kind of Irish terroristic bull crap is this? Molotov cocktails. First of all, more people get killed by Molotov cocktails just trying to prep them for the crime than the people who the Molotov cocktails are for. Just FYI, it is an extremely dangerous thing to be riding around in your car with. Is a Molotov cocktail. Okay, gasoline is very volatile. Just FYI. So he said, "This ain't just a hit; it's a message." So we see then where Rock does a good job explaining to Jacqueline about Howard, and tells him that Howard works for her, and tells him that she's trying to change the ducking game out in this mug. And he was like, "Oh, really?" And she was like, "Listen, I killed Gabriel. I did that with my own hands because your cousin looked out for me. And I look out for the people that look out for me." So the guns go away. But Jean Quinn did tell her he needs to know that Howard is taken care of and will not be a problem. And 2, he needs to know how she leveling, trying to change the ducking game. What that look like, what that mean. If you can put that together for me, business plan form-ish style, kind of, sort of, then we can talk. She say, then we can talk, and then we good. We can get started. He was like, then we good. I was like, Rock, you gon' do it. She got up and put that leather coat on, baby, and snatched that collar, shoo, and walked out head up, head held high, with that driver slash one crew member walking just slightly behind her. Rock, you better do it. Okay. So then we see where Kanan is waiting on Juke. She walks up and she's already heard about Davina. She pulls out the blue cap, and she's rolling it around in her fingers. The camera focuses in on it. She says, "This is what killed Nicole." And he's looking at it, and he's like, and she was like, "She took it out of my book bag, she smoked it, and she died." And he was like, honestly, I don't know what to say to you." And she was like, "It's cool. I don't blame you. And I don't blame me." She said, "I blame this environment. This environment, like, this what kills people. This what kills families and relationships." I was like, man, it's a level of hopelessness that is scary and frankly dangerous. People get this hopeless and this, distraught in this manner, are liable to do anything. One of the number one things they do is they expire themselves. But I digress. It's sad. It's scary and it's sad. My heart really goes out to Jukebox in this whole episode. We see where Lou is at home and he is drinking and listening to I keep hearing footsteps, baby, in the dark. Oh, in the dark. Why keep hearing footsteps, baby? It's a tape. I wanted to go to my drawer so bad and get a tape, but I ain't got one. So he's having a drink. He goes and sits down on the sofa. The phone is ringing. He let the answer machine pick up, and it's Rock. And Rock is telling him, let me see, what did she say? She said, batter up. Oh, you're on deck, batter up. And Lou says, not tonight, tonight I'm off. And he takes a big swig of his brown liquor. He's just sitting there on the sofa, chilling. 2 windows on each side of the sofa, right? And the sofa, the back of the sofa is on a wall that is essentially the front of the house. Okay. So while all of this going on, the music is playing. Unique boys come for him. And they come, they close the doors, they get out, they load up, and they kind of line up in front of Lou's house. First of all, they throw Molotov cocktails. 2 of them. One in each window. Fire comes billowing in. As soon as they do that, they ta. Lou jumps to the floor and rolls over to the console. In the console, he pulls all the movies out, and behind there is a gun. And he just starts shooting through the wall. Just it's smoke, it's fire, and he's just shooting, randomly. I don't know if he's disoriented. I don't know if he's hit. We don't know. And then in this moment, we see Lou just kind of cough, and he just kind of passes out. Now, we don't know if he's dead, but all of that smoke in your lungs, and you have a lot of adrenaline, which makes you breathe deeper. It's very likely that he had smoke inhalation and passed out from that, right? But we don't know. Marvin at the same time is pulling up. And as he pulls up, he's like, oh, hell no. Same thing he did in front of the stash house. Look at these ninjas. And he guns it. And he guns it. Unique's boy goes to shoot through the window. And he's ducking and driving and still ducking and driving. And the Unique's boy was like, let's roll out. And then while they loading up in the car, it's one guy with the automatic gun. And he's just, really can't nobody shoot. I don't know if that was just the 90s where nobody could shoot unless they was right up on you, but I don't know if it was all the Tech 9s. Like, did the Tech 9 ruin the killing for the 90s? I don't know. But they shooting the car, the grill, everything. Nothing hits Marvin. But Marvin does swerve and hit another car. This is the second Mercedes he has basically totaled. He coughs, rolls out of the car. They pull off. He stumbles to the house and he's calling Lou. Lou. He makes it in the house. He's got to bust the door down, which he does. He goes in and Lou is there on the ground. And he picks Lou's body up. It looked ridiculous, but he was able to pick Lou's body up. It looked ridiculous, right? Like most people throw you over their shoulder, but he's carrying Lou like a baby, like a little child, And come on, Lou, pull through. Come on, Lou, pull through. Don't do this. Help. Somebody help me, please. And Lou is just laying there on the ground. We don't know if Lou is dead or alive. We have no idea. We did hear the police in the distance. Hopefully there's an ambulance there. And basically the episode goes off with that. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was so much I feel like I missed something. Like, what is going on? I had to have missed something. Oh, no. I did it all. Like, it's crazy. But, so here are the questions that I have. Rock is she giving Lou orders, the kill orders? Because it seems like, I don't know. why would you give him the orders twice? Maybe she was doing the orders in stages. What was the jacket for? Like, what we know Lou is kind of smart in this thing, although he's not good with the Tech 9. Was he trying to set up Unique or Unique's boy with the crime of killing Howard? Like, what do you guys think is going on? Is Lou is dead and Marvin is all that Rock has left? I don't know, but Marvin ain't all bad. At least he didn't fall for the white girl's tricks, right? And maybe he's not all bad, he's just not disciplined. Maybe if Lou does die, this will push Marvin in a place where he do better, he be better, right? Maybe, I don't know, y'all tell me what y'all think. I can truly see how the death of Nicole could have been the thing that changed Jukebox forever, but I think it was just the start of her downward spiral. I really do. I think there's going to be more to come that is going to just add on to why Jukebox decided to go over to the dark side. Is Davina gone forever? What do you guys think? Will she be back? What's Kanan going to do about what Rock said about D-Wiz? What y'all think? He going to hold a grudge? Anyway, let me let y'all go. Please rate, comment, and subscribe if you are not subscribed to my channel. This was a whole lot of fun, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please, 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 let's talk about it down below. And until next time, honeybees, I holla.